YouTuber Tyler and Hannah were filming their overlanding trip at Castle Rock Plateau near Moab, Colorado on March 31st, 2024. While filming, Tyler suddenly runs into a man near their setup. The man immediately starts accusing them of creeping on him with their drone and yelling aggressive insults. The situation escalates fast, with the man insisting they are filming him personally, even though the drone is clearly just recording the landscape and sunrise.
Creeping on you because you're creeping on me while I'm taking my morning walk. Checking me out. I'm just checking out what you got. What you got here?
Sorry.
Liberal.
What? Sorry.
Liberal.
What?
I said you're liberal.
Sir, I'm here with my family.
That's cool.
Tyler and Hannah try to de-escalate, repeatedly explaining they're just camping and not recording him, while keeping their distance and trying to stay calm. Was something going on with the way he reacted so intensely? Was he hiding something? A man was standing over a freshly dug grave in the late afternoon when a strange sound started coming from inside the hole. The man leaned in closer, trying to understand where it was coming from, but couldn't identify it. The sound continued in waves, making it hard to tell if it was something trapped underground or just an echo from deeper within the ground. Some believe it could be caused by underground movement, gas, or something natural in the soil. Others think the sound is too unusual and point to more supernatural interpretations. YouTuber UV Paryapti Vlogs was hiking at night in a deserted area when his flashlight caught movement in the bushes near the ground. As he focused the light, the bushes kept shaking, almost like something underneath was constantly moving through them. He stopped for a moment, trying to figure out what was causing it. But whatever was inside stayed hidden beneath the vegetation. When I zoomed in, it almost looked like multiple small hands moving, reaching, but it was hard to tell for sure. Some believe it could be a small animal moving through dense ground cover. Others aren't so convinced. So what do you think was hiding in those bushes? A 26-year-old backpacker named Karolina was travelling alone through the remote Australian outback when something went terribly wrong. She was last seen on June 29th at a small general store in the town of Beacon, a quiet place with barely over 100 residents. After that, she vanished. Days later, her van was discovered deep inside Karoo Hill Nature Reserve, more than 30 kilometers from any main track. It appeared to be stuck in the terrain, with supplies still inside. But Karolina was gone. For nearly 2 weeks, there were no answers. Search teams combed the vast, hostile landscape, an area covering hundreds of thousands of hectares, with freezing nights dropping close to 0 degrees. Then, 12 days after she disappeared, a miracle. A member of the public found her walking along a remote bush track. She was exhausted, injured, and in a fragile state, but alive. Authorities believe her van became stuck the day she left Beacon. From there, she likely set out on foot, but became disorientated in the dense, unforgiving terrain. There was no evidence of foul play. Still, surviving nearly 2 weeks alone in these conditions, with extreme isolation, cold nights, and dangerous wildlife, is nothing short of incredible. So what really happened during those 12 days she spent completely alone out there? A group of friends were on a trip through the desert when one of them noticed something moving inside their shoe. That's when they decided to record. Carefully, they pulled out a long insect, hidden deep inside, completely unnoticed until it started moving.
I'm like breaking a sweat.
Moments like that are a reminder of how easily something can crawl into places you'd never expect, especially in environments like the desert. So, if you found something like that in your shoe, would you ever wear it again without checking first? A person was hiking on a deserted mountain trail when they noticed something in the distance. Partially hidden behind a rock was a dark figure, with what looked like glowing eyes staring directly at them. The moment felt off, unnatural. The way it appeared didn't quite make sense. Had someone placed something there, a prop meant to scare hikers? Either way, seeing something like that alone in a place that quiet is enough to make anyone stop in their tracks. So what do you think it was? Reddit user OnlyTrustZ shared footage from an urban exploration inside an abandoned building in a deserted area. While moving through the ground floors, everything was completely silent and nobody seemed to be around. Then they noticed something. Something was there.
Huh?
I think I saw him over there.
Yo!
The uploader explained that no cars were nearby, so they didn't expect anyone to be there. They later saw a person talk to themselves, holding an object, and even other figures on different floors during the exploration, which made the group leave quickly. It was likely a place used by squatters, but why in such an isolated area? A woman named Janelle Banda was camping with her father in Coconino County, Arizona, when something unexpected happened. Late at night, around 10:30 p.m., she walked away from the campsite and didn't return. At first, her father believed she might come back on her own, but as time passed, concern quickly turned into alarm. Search teams were called in and began combing the rugged terrain. For nearly 3 days, there was no sign of her. Then, she was finally found, at the bottom of a steep canyon. She had fallen nearly 400 feet, suffering injuries, dehydration, and exhaustion, but somehow she survived. Her rescue was described as nothing short of a miracle. This dashcam video was recorded by a man driving through the desert in Saudi Arabia at night. During the journey, he stopped to take a short break. That's when he noticed something. In the distance, a figure walking alone. Far out in the desert, the moment felt off. Panicked, the man quickly drove away, not wanting to find out who or what was out there. Some believe it could have been another person, but in a place that remote, in the middle of the night, why would anyone be out there on foot? A Redditor known as New Name Noah shared an image from Goldfield Cemetery in Nevada, showing a gravestone with a very unusual inscription. It read, "Unknown man died eating library paste, July 14th, 1908. The marker offers no further explanation. Just that strange phrase sitting quietly in the middle of an old cemetery. Some say library paste was a type of adhesive used in schools and offices at the time, often made from simple ingredients like flour and water. According to local stories, a man searching for food may have consumed it, not realizing it could be dangerous. But over time, the story has taken on a life of its own. Some believe the grave is real, a strange but tragic piece of history. Others question it entirely, pointing out how well preserved the lettering looks, even after more than a century. A YouTuber named Connor Does Adventure went exploring an abandoned sewer tunnel deep in the desert. As they moved their way in, the atmosphere became increasingly uneasy. Then, something appeared ahead.
Oh my dude. What? Dude. Oh.
Okay.
We're on. Dude, we gotta go! Dude, he's booking it! Go!
Dude, I'm trying.
Oh shit, go! Dude, go! Oh my gosh!
Coming?
Dude! He's right there!
A figure with an unnatural posture, vaguely human in shape, but hard to define clearly. Panic followed immediately as they turned and ran toward the exit. Was it a homeless person or something else? A man was hiking with his family in Chile's Limari Valley in 2025 when they noticed something reflective below them in the rocky terrain. When they focused on it, they saw a large metallic object sitting between the rocks, partially hidden near a formation. It didn't look natural, and it didn't resemble anything you'd expect to find in a remote desert. The area has been linked to multiple unexplained UFO-like sightings over the years, which made the discovery even more interesting. If it's still there is unknown, but I'm guessing it's not, as no more videos have appeared. A group of climbers were making their way down a cliff in El Dorado Canyon when they suddenly got stuck hundreds of feet above the ground. As the temperature dropped, they were left hanging onto the rock face with no clear way down. They stayed close together, trying to hold on while waiting for help. Rescue teams were called, and drones were used to locate them in the dark and guide rescuers from above. Without clear visibility, the rescuers had to rely on directions from the drone to reach the exact spot. The operation lasted around 6 hours, with rescuers lowering down equipment, bringing the climbers jackets, and helping them back up safely. All 3 climbers made it out without serious injuries, but the situation could have turned much worse. This mysterious clip was recorded by an unknown person at an unknown location. Reportedly, the person was outside when they came across an unusual cluster of dark, plant-like forms in the ground. The objects look small and tree-like at first, but instead of leaves, each one has a bulbous, sticky-looking top. When the person touches them with a stick, the structures react by retracting or shrinking inward, as if responding to contact. The footage shows several of them close together, all reacting in a similar way when disturbed, making their behavior hard to immediately categorize. Some think it could be a rare type of fungus or plant with a defensive response. But then, wouldn't we already know about plants like this? A person was driving through the desert at night when they saw this in the sky. Multiple orange orbs appeared in a straight line across the darkness. The lights seemed to form a pattern, with new orbs appearing while others faded, creating the impression of movement along the line. Was it just aircraft lights or satellites? Many believe the synchronized motion and fading pattern make it difficult to match with conventional explanations. What do you think? Reddit user AllTheInios23 shared a post after finding something strange while using OpenGuesser in La Paz, Bolivia, near Moroy Street. The Google Maps location showed what looked like a body hanging in an open area. The user went back to the spot on Street View and confirmed it was still visible in the same position. Some said it was an effigy used in rural areas as a warning to thieves, meant to scare off criminals. Others suggested it could be part of local traditions where figures are displayed as a symbolic punishment or a deterrent. A man in Brazil was walking down a quiet desert town street at night when he noticed a figure standing a few steps ahead near a building. At first, it looked like someone just standing there, possibly waiting for a ride. But then a motorcycle approached, and its headlights pointed directly at the figure. Instead of lighting it up, the light seemed to pass straight through it, and within seconds, the figure completely disappeared. When the man looked back at the footage, he noticed something else. The figure didn't appear to have a head. Shaken, he left the area without getting any closer. A group of friends were camping in a desert. Later at night, while inside their tent, something caught their attention. Through the mesh panel, they noticed a pair of red glowing eyes staring in from the darkness. The clip is short, so it was unclear what happened next, or if they ever stepped outside to check. Was it an animal, something paranormal, or fake? The clip remains a mystery. Reddit user Substantial Layer 586 was camping alone on remote BLM land in the desert when something strange jolted him awake early in the morning. It was around 5 a.m. Still inside his tent, half asleep, he suddenly heard something strike the fabric right near his head. Then it happened again and again. Something was being thrown at his tent, hitting the exact same spot. At first he froze, listening. Then he quickly looked outside. Nothing. No people, no animals, just empty desert in every direction. Later he shared a photo of his campsite, and it raised even more questions. There were no trees above him, no cliffs, nothing that could have caused debris to fall from above. Some people suggested it might have been small animals. Others thought maybe rocks had been kicked loose somehow. But the repeated, targeted hits didn't feel random. It felt deliberate, like something or someone was out there in the dark, aiming directly at him. So the question is, what was really out there that morning? A taxi driver was driving late at night when he noticed something unusual on the side of the road. A man was standing completely still inside a perfect circle of lit candles. The driver slowed down to look, and within seconds, the situation changed. By the time the taxi passed, the figure was completely gone, leaving only the empty candle circle behind. Many think this is edited, but the setup itself also raises questions, since candle circles are often linked to rituals or symbolic acts in different traditions. So what if it is real? A woman in New Mexico was home alone late one night at her desert home when something outside her window caught her attention. She checked her security camera and saw this. A figure moving slowly through the darkness, lit only by the faint glow of the moon. At first it was clearly visible, but as she kept watching, something unsettling happened. The figure simply disappeared from the frame. Some people believe it could have been a camera glitch or a compression error, but if that's true, then there had to be someone out there in the first place, which raises an even more unsettling question. Who was outside her home that night, and why were they in such a remote location? Others think it could be something harder to explain, something that was never fully there to begin with. A Reddit user known as ArtNymphette shared a story from her boyfriend in Mexico about something he saw outside his house late at night. He was pulling up to his home, which sits at the base of a hillside, when he noticed a small pale figure near the slope. He described it as about 30 to 40 centimeters tall, moving on two legs that bent backwards, almost like a goat. He said it moved unnaturally fast, then suddenly disappeared into the hillside as if it had gone straight into the ground. He didn't think much of it until the next morning when he went back to check the same spot. There, he found a small stone statue sitting on the ground where the figure had been. Neither he nor his girlfriend recognized it, and they were certain it hadn't been there before. The area is also linked to local folklore about small humanoid creatures said to live in remote terrain. The statue is still reportedly there, and they haven't moved it since. What happened here? In a remote corner of South Africa, a legend has haunted the Karoo for generations. Reddit user CommonUnlucky390 recently shared a thread compiling local folklore, rock art, and modern sightings. The Karoo is a sun-scorched semi-desert, one of the driest places on the continent, but locals whisper about something lurking in its deep rock pools: mermaids. The most famous story comes from Ring Sport, a narrow mountain pass in the Swartberg Range. A dark-haired figure is said to inhabit the pools there, controlling the rain. When she's content, water flows. When angered, drought follows. A terrifying power in such an unforgiving land. Ancient sandrock paintings in the Klein Karoo show fish-tailed human figures. Anthropologists debate whether these depict real sightings, ritual symbols, or mythological water spirits passed down through oral tradition. The legend resurfaced in the 1990s after severe floods swept through Ring Sport. Rumors claimed a mermaid had been carried away, with her remains there displayed in a museum. No evidence has ever been verified, yet the story endures. Even today, travelers report hearing sounds near the water, and locals speak of pale figures brushing long hair by the pools, vanishing when approached. The Karoo was once submerged under an ancient inland sea, and fossils of marine life still appear in the rocks, adding another layer to the tale. Are these mermaids ancient mythology shaped by a harsh environment, a memory of when the desert was underwater, or something stranger still, glimpsed in the pools of Ring Sport? Late at night, a homeowner captured something creepy outside their desert house on a security camera. A faint light appeared near the gate. Slowly it began to take shape, forming the outline of a person. You could make out legs pacing back and forth. It seemed to move deliberately, and then, just as suddenly, it vanished. The homeowner likes to believe it could be a guardian spirit watching over the home. Others think it's just a camera playing tricks, but to me, that seems hard to believe. A couple was driving home late one night in Arizona after an evening out when something unusual caught their attention. Above the neighborhood, two strange objects hovered in the dark sky. They quickly pulled out their phone and started recording.
Daddy? Is that alien?
Over here.
The objects were circular, with lights glowing evenly along their edges. They didn't move like drones or helicopters. There was no sound of engines. A Reddit user posted a Google Maps image from northern Nevada after spotting a strange structured pattern in the desert. It almost looked like some sort of code. Some commenters even suggested a layout could resemble a QR code pattern, possibly used for military training or navigation tests. According to the poster, there were military vehicles nearby, including what looked like a tank, which could suggest it could be part of a testing or training zone. But what's with the pattern? If you have an explanation, please share in the comments. A person in Ohio recorded footage after noticing a strange silhouette that appeared to be positioned behind the bright sun in the sky.
Okay, so look, listen to me. I'm sitting in my house, right? You see me make a video of somebody or something in the sun. It's a clear day. It's after April the 8th, after the eclipse. So I'm coming out here to film this one more again. There he is.
Some believe it could be a visual illusion caused by light distortion, clouds, or camera effects when pointed directly at the sun. Others argue the shape looks too defined to be a simple reflection or glitch.
It's a man or something walking in the midst of the sun. You see this? He's right there on top. Not moving this camera. He's right there on the top. Hold up.
Now, let's continue with this next video for more scary desert encounters.